Cancer. What is cancer? What is a tumour? What are the two different types of cancer, benign and malignant? And what exactly is it that causes cancer? So, cancer is a process. Okay, it's a process by which cells replicate uncontrollably. There are two types of cell replication: mitosis and meiosis. Meiosis refers to the formation of gametes, i.e. your sex cells, your sperm and your ovum, your egg. Mitosis refers to cell replication otherwise, so replacement of damaged or dead cells and growth of new cells is all on the basis of mitosis, because mitosis by definition is cell replication that leads to the production of two genetically identical cells, otherwise known as clones. So if you're replicating our cells, that's how we're going to grow. Okay, so cancer is the process by which we get uncontrolled cell division. The end product of that, or the product of cancer, is what we call a tumour. So a tumour is a mass of cells that have grown uncontrollably by mitosis. Okay, they've grown, rather they've divided. So it's uncontrolled cell division by mitosis, and that the product that's created this mass of cells is what we call a tumour. Okay, so cells contain DNA. DNA by definition is the genetic material that makes up an organism. So as if you want, as it were, it could be kind of the ingredients that make up a cake. And so the ingredients that make up humans and monkeys and mice and every other animal, every other living creature, that's DNA, so genetic makeup of an organism. And now if you get a mutation, a change in the DNA, or by definition a mutation, a change in the DNA base sequence, that will lead to the potentials of cancer. I mean, otherwise it leads to pathologies, but that can lead to cancer. So again, if I go back to the analogy of a cake, if instead of sugar we ended up by accident putting in salt because they look alike, that will lead to a rather unpleasant end product. Well, for the vast majority of us anyway, something that's inedible. So a change in the DNA base sequence means that you're going to end up with something that's non-functioning, or at least not functioning as it should be. Now DNA is made up of genes, okay, so genes are sections of DNA, and these code for specific proteins. Now genes are essentially little sets of instructions. So in every single cell in our body we've got the same DNA, except certain genes are switched on and certain genes are switched off, and so that's what helps to specialize the cell. So for example, as adults or otherwise, as when we qualify, we train. A teacher has got training skills. They have the ability to be a mechanic or a medical doctor or whatever else, but they have honed in from their childhood to become a teacher, and therefore they become teachers. Engineers have become engineers because they honed in on their set to become an engineer rather than something else, and so on and so forth. So in a similar fashion, it's what called cell specialization. So cells will switch on certain genes and therefore specialized, thus carrying out their specific functions, and that's what gives them that specialization. So now every single cell, however, has got what we call the tumor suppressor gene and the oncogene. Now these two are important in the context of cancer, because tumor suppressor gene, as it says on the tin, it's a gene that suppresses the formation of a tumor. Remember, we said tumor is the end product of cancer, so the uncontrolled cell division. So a tumor suppressor gene slows down cell division by mitosis. Now if I was to cause dysfunction in this gene so that it's not working, then that division becomes uncontrollable, and again by definition we said cancer was the uncontrolled cell division. On the other hand, you've got oncogenes. Oncogenes stimulate cell production, so if you get a mutation in an oncogene, it makes a proto-oncogene, and that actually accelerates cell division, and so everything in the human body is in the middle ground, so homeostasis, not too much or not too less. As I say, everything in moderation. So that's why if you get mutations in these two, a change in their sequence, they become dysfunctional, and so you lead to the formation of cancer. Now there are two types of cancer, as suggested at the start. There's benign and there's malignant. So benign growths are relatively safe. They stay locally to the site of origin, and they'll affect surrounding structure, not invade surrounding structures, and therefore they may cause a little bit of pain or discomfort or symptoms otherwise. So more common benign tumours are benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, lipomas. So lipoma is lipid tissue that's found subdermally. You can feel them, little squidgy nodules under the skin, and if they're large enough, they are visible, not only palpable. And then another one is neuroma, so nerve tissue, Morton's neuroma, for example, found in the foot between the second and third, or the third and fourth metatarsals. So these are benign. Malignant, on the other hand, metastasize, metastasis. Stasis means to locate, and meta means to change, so change in the location, which means that these guys spread. The most common sites of virtually every cancer spreading are the lungs, liver, brain, and the kidneys, and aside from other specific ones that will spread to specific tissue. So metastases, metastasis, malignant, these guys require much more invasive treatment, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and pharmacological intervention otherwise. So there we are. Cancer, the process of uncontrolled cell division, and tumour is the product, so the mass of cells that have grown uncontrollably. This occurs due to the change in the DNA sequence, i.e. a mutation, and that mutation is due to mutation to the TSG, the tumour suppressor gene, or the oncogene. And then that leads to a growth, be it benign or malignant. Benign is safe, malignant metastasizes and is the unsafe one. The benign ones we monitor. Why? Because there is a small chance that the benign can become malignant, and therefore upon review we may well surgically excise. I hope that helps. A brief overview. Thank you. Like the video, comment it, and comment on it and share, and also comment on any videos that you might want to see otherwise.